Guys, I pulled out so many new fragrances this week that I cannot wait to talk about, so stay tuned. Hey, what's good guys? Hunter here and welcome back to the channel where I upload weekly fragrance content, so you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button down below and also make sure to follow me over on my Instagram page so you don't miss any content. And today is of course the weekly fragrance rotation series. If you aren't familiar, I basically run down what fragrance I wore on each day, how many sprays, the kind of weather, and of course if that particular fragrance got a compliment or not. So how about we just get right into Sunday. Sunday happened to be in the low 70s and sunny outside, and I went with Afnan's Tarathi Brown, which is inspired by Yves Saint Laurent's Tuxedo, which is this very spicy, earthy, patchouli style fragrance, and I love the DNA of this stuff. I did wear this not too long ago as well, if you keep up with this series, because this scent profile is probably one of my favorite designer scent profiles, and it's strange because I actually don't own a bottle of Tuxedo, and I'm gonna have to change that very soon. But there is actually a reason why I wore Tarathi Brown, because on that day, guys, I actually did go to the Cleveland Browns game because I am from Ohio. I have to support my local teams, of course, even though I'm not a Browns fan necessarily, I'm a Cowboys fan. So I had a good time going to the game, supporting Cleveland, etc. And I thought this fragrance was probably the most fitting, being Tarathi Brown. However, on that day though, I did do 10 sprays of this one. The performance is good. You kind of expect that from these Middle Eastern brands like Afnan, Latafa, etc. But if you do want Tuxedo on a budget, this might be one of the best alternatives to that fragrance. Also did get a compliment from the girl I was with when I was going to the Browns game. She said that I smelled very good, and it's interesting. This is basically just a very classy, gentleman style scent profile that is perfect for dressing up if you ever wanted to smell elegant. So that's what I chose to wear to the Browns game on Sunday, is Tarathi Brown. Let me know down below your favorite NFL team that you guys follow. Monday was in the mid 70s and sunny outside. We got this kind of heat wave coming through a little bit, and I went with the brand new Tumi, guys, and this one is Tumi Dusk in that same kind of 19-degree bottle style. However, this one's in blue. And if you know me, I'm a big fan of Tumi, guys. 19 degree is probably my favorite, so when I saw this one, I was like, wow, this is probably gonna be a banger as well. I will say though, it doesn't really dethrone 19 degree as my favorite Tumi, but it is a very unique kind of a blue style fragrance. Very citrusy on the top with this like this lemon bergamot combo, but it dries down very unique. It has a violet leaf, but for some reason I'm getting a very kind of aromatic touch going on in here, and I'm not sure where it's coming from. I do own every single fragrance from Tumi, and I will say Dusk is probably definitely in my top 5 from the entire collection. And if you do want to check out Dusk, since it just dropped, you can go over to So Avant-Garde and use code HUNTER10, and that will just save you 10% off of all your orders. I did do 5 sprays with Dusk, kind of just ran some errands. It didn't want to choke out people because I was doing some important things on that day. And this is just a great kind of just throw on style fragrance if you're out running errands, just chilling, etc., because it's very versatile and crowd pleasing, which you kind of expect from that blue genre style fragrances anyways. The performance with this one though, even with the 5 sprays, is excellent. These 19 degree and Dusk is straight to parfum, so you're already gonna expect a highly concentrated fragrance, and a highly concentrated fragrance is what you get with this. But let me know down below if you guys are fans of Tumi's and what is your favorite one from the line, and if you're thinking about checking out Dusk. Tuesday was actually in the high 70s and sunny outside, guys, and I pulled out such a beautiful patchouli, and I'm a patchouli lover, and this is Guerlain's Patchouli Paris, one of the newest releases from Guerlain, especially in this higher end collection from them. And wow, when I talk about a luxurious patchouli, guys, this is it right here. It comes across like this chocolatey patchouli, one of the best patchouli fragrances I've smelled in my collection, and I do own so many, but this stuff just really blew me away. It does have this kind of clean aldehydes in the opening, which is kind of different, but it doesn't last that long. It does dry down to that chocolatey, earthy patchouli with that kind of Guerlain signature vanilla note. And probably just one of the classiest patchouli fragrances I've ever got my nose on, guys. And most of the time, patchouli can come across kind of sharp, not the most classiest of notes, but this though really turned it up a notch. So shout out to Guerlain for making a beast of a patchouli. And any patchouli lover out there, absolutely try this one or at least sample it. And this is actually the first one from this line that I own. I know they get so much hype with a bunch of them, and after trying Patchouli Paris and owning this one and being blown away, I'm gonna have to dive into this collection a lot further. Let me know if any of you guys have any recommendations from this collection from Guerlain. I did go with 6 sprays of Patchouli Paris. The performance was pretty good. There's nothing to complain about. I actually did give a compliment to somebody that was wearing a Versace Dylan Blue. I was like, man, you smell good. What are you wearing? and I did kind of guess it was Dylan Blue from the scent profile. And that's also just a fragrance you really cannot go wrong with, man. That stuff just smells good. And I'm surprised, just a quick tip, I'm surprised Versace never came out with any flankers of Dylan Blue like they have basically every other fragrance in their line, especially Eros, which got like 5 flankers. But that's what I chose for Tuesday is the new Guerlain Patchouli Paris. Wednesday was in the low 70s and cloudy outside, but still in the 70s out here. And I did go with Raja Parfums Apex, man. And this is seriously a banger of a chypre green style fragrance. I love Apex. And I know a lot of people weren't the biggest fan of this one. I do own, of course, the original EDP that I have in hand, and I also own the Parfum Apex, which is a little bit more of a darker, deeper, denser version of this. For some reason, when I want this one, I usually just reach for the EDP. You really cannot go wrong with this one, and I probably would recommend this over the Parfum, especially for the price. And it also has this very fruity, kind of juicy pineapple opening that is very good. It does kind of get compared to Dior Sauvage Elixir. I can definitely see some similarities, but not identical by any means. And there actually is a reason why I pulled this one out, because on Wednesday, I actually did get invited to go watch the brand new Venom The Last Dance before it actually came out, like an early premiere. And I was like, I wonder what would Venom smell like, guys? And for some reason, I did have a couple options, and I ended up going with Raja Parfums Apex. Amouage Interlude, man, was also another go-to because it is like the Blue Beast, and Venom is kind of like darkish bluish of a color. I just think Apex was the perfect choice, man. And that was a good movie also. If any of you guys love like those style of movies, definitely go check it out. And I got invited to like the Screen X, so I was in the movie theater, and there's like screens all around you, man. The seats were heated and everything. It was an awesome experience. And like I said, if you follow me over on Instagram, you actually see the pictures I post. And I always try to include fragrances in those posts as well. On that day, I actually did do 10 sprays with Apex. So this is a beast of a fragrance. It projects very, very heavy. So I was pretty much choking out people in the movie theater with this one because I actually took the bottle with me as well. But at the end of the day, I'm that dude, and that's what I'm known for, is smelling good. So why not, right? So that's what I wore for Wednesday is Raja Parfums Apex. Thursday was in the high 50s and sunny outside, so it's starting to cool down a little bit, and I wanted to go with a Tom Ford because I feel like I don't really reach for my Tom Fords, and as you see, I own so many of them. So I went with Noir de Noir, which is a classic from the private blends all the way back in the early 2000s, or mid to 2000s actually. But Noir de Noir is a beautiful kind of chocolatey, patchouli, rosy, oudy style fragrance, and it kind of does remind me a little bit of Louis Vuitton's Ombre Nomad because Jacques Cavalier created Noir de Noir and Ombre Nomad, so they do have some similarities. Just an outstanding dark rosy oud fragrance with this kind of truffle chocolate core going on to make it a little bit different than your traditional rose oud, which is overdone so much nowadays, man. It just seems like so many rose ouds are out there and they're so identical. This one though does make a little bit of a twist on that scent profile, so if you love chocolatey fragrances, you love rose ouds, absolutely try Noir de Noir. Not my favorite private blend, but definitely up there without a doubt. And on that day, I did do 6 sprays of Noir de Noir. The performance is good, but honestly, I should have sprayed a little bit more because I'll tell you right now, these atomizers on the private blends are some of the worst atomizers in the game. It barely sprays any juice whatsoever. So might as well have been like 3 sprays to be honest from like a regular atomizer. So that's what I chose to wear is Tom Ford's Noir de Noir, a absolute classic from the brand. Friday was in the mid 60s and cloudy outside, and I went with Nishane Hacivat, one of my favorites from Nishane, of course. And I haven't worn the original Hacivat in such a long time because I have been wearing Hacivat X a lot more than the OG lately, so I was like, man, I kind of missed that pineapple oak moss, a little bit smoky of a fragrance with Hacivat. And honestly, at the end of the day, I think I do actually prefer this one over the Flanker X because the oak moss in this one is outstanding. I love oak moss, and they completely remove it from that flanker and just make that one a little bit fresher. So I like to pull this one out in the fall and winter, and Hacivat X for the spring and summer if I want that DNA. And of course, if you don't know, this is very similar to Creed Aventus, just a tad bit different. So I will say, if you love Aventus, you love those kind of fragrances, which are so many now, you could check out Hacivat. And a lot of people prefer this one over Aventus, and the performance is even better because this is an extrait de parfum. And of course, still has that niche quality, and you can get this one a lot cheaper than Aventus, especially on discounters. And of course, I link all the fragrances I talk about in my rotations on the video to make it as easy as possible for you guys to find the best deals. I went with 6 sprays of Hacivat. Like I said, the performance is beast, especially for a fruity kind of fresher style fragrance. Outstanding. I did get a comment from the girl I was with. She came in for a hug, and when she did hug me, put her nose, of course, up to my neck where she was, and she's like, wow, you smell so good. And that's the thing too, when girls come in to hug me, guys, because I'm 6'3", they get the perfect spot where I spray my fragrance every time. At the end of the day though, hacivat is a compliment beast. Almost every time I wear this or its flanker, I always get attention with them. So if you want something that is niche quality, a little bit more affordable than other niche fragrances, that's versatile, smells absolutely like a banger of a fragrance, and will get you so much attention, absolutely check out hacivat. This is something I would absolutely recommend, probably 8 out of 10 times. So that's what I chose for Friday, is the nishane hacivat. Wrapping the week off on Saturday, it was in the mid-50s and sunny outside, and I put out a brand new niche fragrance I just got in the mail on that day, and it's coming from one of my favorite luxurious houses in the game. This one is FragHunterBusiness London Spice, and I'm so happy to finally have a bottle of this stuff, because within the past month or so, I did actually get a decant or a travel spray of London Spice, as well as others from this house, and I fell in love with this particular one. Just like that name says, it's supposed to, I guess, smell like London, and it is somewhat of a spicy fragrance, but it's more so minty, very, very aromatic. So you're gonna get this spicy aromatic touch with a very spicy dry down, but it's still kind of a fresh minty style fragrance, more so than spicy, I would say. It just smells so luxurious. If you want a very expensive, somewhat simple, that's not gonna be groundbreaking or very complex of a fragrance at all, but it's just so well done, and you're always gonna get that FragHunterBusiness quality with their fragrances. Like, this stuff smells so expensive, and expensive it is because I think this retails for close to $400. But I do own 5 from FragHunterBusiness right over there, and this is definitely probably in the top 3 now, man. This stuff is so good, and I cannot wait to wear this one more. And it's kind of shocking that this one doesn't really get that much talk. It is a little bit underrated in my opinion, but I'm also not sure if this is one of their newer fragrances, to be quite honest. It does have this very awesome plaque on the front with that flag, compared to the regular ones that just kind of have a regular black plaque, so I love this bottle style. And they changed them up a little bit to be a little bit more round off rather than square like my older style bottles are. But if you love presentation, FragHunterBusiness has one of the best presentations when it comes to the box as well as a bottle in the entire game. I did go just 6 sprays with London Spice. Could have definitely went more because this isn't really offensive or anything like that, and it's more on the fresher take, and it doesn't honestly perform the best. So I could have easily got away with maybe around 10 sprays, which is my usual go-to, but like I said in the last weekly fragrance rotation, I have been coming down a little bit on the sprays, as you guys can tell in this series, but still, definitely easily a 10 sprayer with this one for me. So that's gonna do it for my weekly fragrance rotation, guys. As always, let me know down below the fragrances you guys pull out. You guys always pull out fragrances I've never heard of, so many bangers, and you guys are always smelling incredible. So leave a comment, also leave a like, subscribe if you guys haven't already, and of course, I'll catch all of you back here in my next upload. Take care, everybody.